Hey, welcome back. In this video, and I guess first things first, I've reached my event campaign reward on my free-to-play account, but I'm not really going to talk about what you should choose for your event campaign. I'm just going to talk through my reasoning for what I'm going to choose, and the reason for that is just since I don't know exactly what kind of builds you might be working on or anything like that, through the lens of PvP, I can't really give great advice. I mean, long story short, I'm going to choose the Lobi. And the reason for that is I can get 2 or maybe 3 ships, depending on how big the next Lobi sale is, or how long I'm willing to wait. And that's a bigger advantage for an account like this one, which I mainly use for casual PvP and for making these videos. Obviously, if you already have, for example, the Zahl Heavy Cruiser and Plasma Storm from the Maquis Raider, or whatever else I might consider getting on this character, if you already have that stuff, then then I wouldn't choose the Lobi. I would choose some other premium ship. And most players, my advice is to get the premium choice, because a lockbox or promo ship is a lot more valuable than 2 Lobi ships. You could buy 2 Lobi ships for 400 million apiece or somewhere thereabouts, and the cheapest lockbox ship is over $1 billion, besides a few outliers like the Shook Din or Borg Juggernaut or whatever. So opportunity cost, you lose out by not choosing the premium, lockbox or promo ship choice. And I know 1500 Lobi is more valuable technically in terms of just raw money you would have to spend in-game in order to get 1500 Lobi crystals. But if you wanted to buy a Lobi ship, and all you have to do is wait for a sale like's going on right now, buy a couple of these 20 ring master key packs, and you could purchase multiple Lobi ships for less actual real life money than it would cost you to purchase the equivalent lockbox or promo ship. So that's why, if you're going to stick with the game for a long time, I'd recommend getting the premium choice. If you have some other outlier example, then I could see the Lobi as an option. I'm not sure why anyone would choose the regular Zen Store ship option. You can grind dill for those, and they're pretty cheap. 2 ships is, $60, it's definitely a lot of money, but it's cheap compared to the other options, 1500 Lobi or a promo ship. But I also understand, especially if you're a more casual player, even on the character that I'm on right now, I grinded dilithium to get the Bozeman. But originally, I was saving up. I wasn't going to get the Bozeman. Originally, I was saving up for the Somerville, so that I could get spore-infused anomalies for my science build. This is what I originally was going to get. And if I'd chosen, if I'd completed the event campaign earlier or something, I might have chosen this choice. I could have gotten the Bozeman and the Somerville, and then I would just be done. But I think that's, if I played a bunch of different characters and I wanted to, do slightly different builds or reuse the same ships on multiple characters, which I know a lot of people do, then I could see that option. But in this case, I really only play this one character. I funnel all of my resources into this one character, which means that this is the character that's going to get, the goodies, the Lobi or the promo or premium ship choice. And there's a couple of constants that I just want to talk about. So with any ship choice, whether it's a Lobi ship, I guess I could get Lobi consoles and stuff too, but I'm going to use it for ships. The Lobi ship or lockbox ship or even a T6 ship, there's 3 factors, and that's the ship itself. The bridge officer layout is hugely important. So, that's one. The second one is the console that comes on the ship. Ideally, you know, you want a good console that's powerful in some way or helps your build or whatever. And then the third one is the starship trait itself. The trait is really important, sometimes more important than the ship. You know, you might get a ship just to unlock the trait and then use that trait on another build. Not even, you know, a lot of people do that, especially like high-end DPS stuff. Like, a lot of people choose the Mirror warship, right? Awesome ship, awesome trait for PvE. Most people don't actually fly the Mirror warship. They unlock the trait and then immediately take that trait and put it on some other ship. So, especially on a smaller budget, like this free-to-play character who's only ever going to be able to get 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ships total, you know, over the next year or more. I have to be a little bit more frugal about my choices. I can't buy a ship just for the trait and then immediately trash it. Ideally, I want a good result from each of those categories: the ship itself, good console, and a good trait. Now, that's tough. That's a tall order. Obviously, Cryptic is going to make that as hard as possible because they want you to spend money and buy as many ships as they can, you know, which is expected. The ships are the content of the game, like everyone says. And, you know, you just want to check those off. Now, there's a small outlier. Ships that come with experimental weapons, you also might want the experimental weapon from that ship. For example, the Shook Din Escort, you can go buy that PDF online for like $8 or whatever. I would totally do that on this character, absolutely, except I said at the outset of this video series that this was going to be completely free to play, so I'm not going to do that. But it would be really cool to have the Shook Din and the Protomatter Sheller on this character, you know. And the same thing with, since I got the Rycian Corvette, I have the Soliton Impeller. I don't really need an experimental weapon, but if you don't have those things and you're flying an escort, it would be nice to have a good experimental weapon. So consider that kind of a special case for certain ships that come with a good experimental weapon. Luckily, the list of ships that come with good experimental weapons is extremely short. So I'm not actually going to claim this just yet. Before I get into the rest of this video, I just want to show you kind of like my mindset going into it. So these are all the free-to-play PvP builds that I've been working on. Some of these you've already seen. So I've got a Bozeman frigate. You've already seen this build in another video. I've got an Andorian escort, you know, which is pilot. Dual beam banks, pretty standard stuff. You've already seen this in another video. And the Scryer, which has gone through a number of different changes and iterations. But that also is a build that I really like and kind of have ideas for. What I haven't done is I filmed a video for this ship, the Nova, and then the Bozeman came out right as I was finishing up this video, and I never published it because I thought, you know, the Bozeman was more important since that one was brand new. But the Nova is my kind of directed energy weapon Sci build. I'm using dual beam banks and protomatter consoles, and I basically fly it around like it's a standard pilot escort, but it has a commander science seat, which I had gravity well in, but I also used like Viromatrix for a little while. That was pretty fun. This is a good platform. I really like the Nova. And I promise I will still do a video on this ship. But it's basically the same configuration as the Andorian Escort. You know, it's a beam overload, pilot, dogfighter. It's not that different. You could probably figure it out just, you know, by that knowledge alone. And then I also put together this cruiser from the Eisenberg, the event ship from Winter. I just messed around with a couple of different things just to try it out, but I never published a video on that one either. And then I also have a jellyfish from the last event. Pretty standard stuff again. I did post, I think, a clip of me using this ship, but I never posted the actual build. But ideally, you know, these down here, these 5 ships, are the ones that I'm working on as far as active PvP builds on this character for this channel. So whatever choice I make from the event campaign has to be something ideally that benefits all of these builds or gives me a new ship to play with that would be worth doing a video for. Alright, I originally did a segment where I talked about basically every Lobi ship in the game and why I would or wouldn't choose it, but I it was like an hour long, and you probably don't want to listen to me talk for that long, at least about stuff that only affects my character and not necessarily yours. So I made a little spreadsheet, and I think slam dunk, I'm definitely going to choose the Zahl Cruiser. It's command and intel. The Invincible trait can be used on any of the builds that I have, which is why I gave it a high ranking. So that's going to be my first choice. If I get a second choice from the Lobi sale, I probably will choose the Walker. I don't love the trait, but the ship is Intel Pilot, so I think I could make a kind of cool build out of that. And the Obfuscation Screen console is pretty nice to have and works on any ship as well. And then for my last choice, just in case there's a 50% off sale, honestly, if they do another 20% off sale, I don't think I could... I don't think I could not just buy the 2 ships and be done with it. But if the next sale happens to be 50% or something like that, and I can get 3 ships, it's kind of a tough call. The Jem'Hadar escort carrier I really liked, and the Undine Kawabi is full command with pilot, and I really like that one. And then the Adaleth Cruiser I don't really like, but the Beam Overload Extends trait is really, really important to the Beam Overload builds that I'm working on. So it'll be one of those 3, but I'm not sure which yet. I guess I'll make that decision when the time comes. It also would be cool to have like the Deimos. I like the Deimos a lot, but the console that comes on it can only be used on that ship. And the trait sucks, so basically I'd just be getting it to have a good ship. And it's not so far and away better than the Scryer that makes me want to choose it. I mean, arguably, you could maybe make the Scryer better, since it's full Intel spec, but it doesn't have pilot, so, you know, goes back and forth there. But those are my 2 choices to start. It's going to be Walker and Zahl as soon as the next Lobi sale comes up. So thank you for watching, and when that sale comes up, I'll be sure to do some new builds and put those items on this character. For now, I guess I pretty much retire this character until I see the next Lobi sale, because there's not really much else to do on it, since the builds that are on it are mostly complete. I'll do a video on the Isenberg and the Nova at some point as well, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good one.